Hey, is everybody ready for some more chocolate? I'm going to talk story today about Divine Chocolate. Has a connection to the UK and to Ghana. And there's a lot of information to unpack with this chocolate company, so forgive me if I read my notes or check my notes more often today, because just so much that there is to know about this company. So 1998, Divine Chocolate was the first ever fair trade chocolate bar aimed at the mass market in the UK. Actually, let's go back a little bit. Earlier in the 90s, there were structural changes in Ghana's cocoa market government system that the farmers realized that they could organize together and they could sell their cocoa to the state-owned exporter, the CMC, cocoa marketing company. I think now it's called the COCOBOD, the Ghana Cocoa Board. So they realized they could do this as a group. Some really smart farmers got in there and they set up Kuapa Kokoo. It means good cocoa farmers in Twi. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm going to mispronounce all kinds of things. Let me tell you, the name of the farmer who set it up, one of the farmers who started setting up was Nana Frimpong Abarisi. And he did this in cooperation with an NGO. This was in 1993. So part of their mission as farmers, they have some core missions that they wanted to do. So they wanted to be farmers that were concerned about social and economic well-being of the farmers. They wanted to increase female participation in their activities. They wanted to develop environmentally friendly cultivation methods. And so when they began, they had about 2,000 farmers in 22 villages. Now they're huge. They have over 80,000 farmers. So they may be the world's biggest cocoa farming cooperative. I'm not sure about that, but man, they're big. So in 1997, they had their annual meeting. So the co-op has an annual meeting where they discuss all the things. And part of the co-op was that they wanted their members to integrate women more into the farming. There's a lot of other factors that go into farmer poverty other than just not getting the right price. So one of them is women involved in the home's finances. And so the cooperative encouraged people to keep records so that women could know where the money was going. It encouraged women to become involved so that they would be part of the finances of the family and spend the money in the right place that does the best for the family itself. So at their annual meeting, they had these annual meetings where they would discuss the business of the co-op and other things and hold elections. And at their annual meeting, they decided in 1997, they voted to open their own chocolate company. And one of the reasons that they would do that is because it pulls value back into Ghana. So when you export beans as a commodity out of the country, you're doing it so here's the bottom of growing the beans. Here's the amount of profit that you get from here to here. So when you sell it as beans, you get this amount of profit. And then the processor gets profit. And then manufacturer gets profit. And then the retailer gets profit. By making their own chocolate company, they pull all of those profits back into Ghana. So they decided to, instead of making a niche bar, they decided to have a mainstream chocolate bar. And they had a motto, Pa, and it means best of the best. And so in 1998, they started the Day Chocolate Company. And it was named after Richard Day, who was part of the NGO who helped them set up and get started. And they got support from various organizations. They got support from the Body Shop. They got support from Comic Relief, Christian Aid, some from the British government. And the farmers actually owned part of the company. So they owned 33% of the company when they started up. So they had invested interest in this chocolate company, which is awesome. So in 1998, so 1 year after they started, they sold their first bar in the United Kingdom. It was called the Divine Fairtrade Milk Chocolate. And that's when it all started. So they carried on in their mission. They were fair trade, so they had everything that went along with that. They were paying a fair trade price to the farmers. 2006, the Body Shop was bought out by L'Oreal, and they donated the Body Shop's shares in Kuapa Kokoo to the cooperative, and that meant they now had 45% share in the chocolate company, which is even more awesome. So at that time, they weren't making a profit. The first time they made a profit was in 2006. And the farmers got a dividend check because they were part owners. In 2007, they changed their name to Divine Chocolate Ltd. They had a major redesign of the bar, and they partnered with a developmental finance organization. And so that changed things a little bit. In 2008, they launched in the United States. In 2010, they elected their first female president of the cooperative. That's a big deal. That's a big social change happening. In 2015, the UK and the US companies merged. So Divine UK, Divine US, they merged. They then got, the next year, they got B Corp status, B Corporation status. In 2019, they launched their organic line, and they celebrated 20 years in business. And like I said, they now have 80,000 farmers involved in this cooperative, and it's really the most established fair trade brand of chocolate out there. All right, let's see if there's anything else I want to tell you. I have just so many crazy notes on this. So like I said, this is a cooperative in Ghana. And if you've ever had a Divine bar, you've noticed all of these symbols on the packaging. Now, these aren't just random graphic design. These are actually Adinkra symbols that are part of Ghanaian history. So I'm going to flip the camera around. We're going to talk a little bit about these symbols, and then we'll open up the chocolate. I have two bars from them right now. I have the dark chocolate with raspberry, and I have the caramel dark chocolate. Yum. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera around and we will check out the symbols. Okay, so I've got these two bars, and they have these symbols all over them, the Adinkra symbols. They come from West Africa, specifically the region that's Ghana, and belong to the Asante or Ashanti people who resisted British colonial rule. So we have a record of them going back as far as 1817. They possibly go back farther. Not at that time, not everyone could read and write, but they could all understand symbols that would be passed down. So Adinkra means farewell or goodbye in Twi. The symbols are closely tied to their history and beliefs and tradition. They use them on cloth and pottery, in metalwork, and actually the U of Ghana uses it in their official logo and crest, which is cool. So, and they're also on the chocolate bars. So I'll talk a little about the wrapper, and then we'll look at some of the symbols and see what they mean, because they're fun. So we have the Divine Chocolate. This is going to be a 70% Ghana cacao, owned by the cocoa farmers. I know I said they owned 45%. That's recently changed. I'll talk about that afterwards. They are fair trade certified. Let's see what else we got on here. No artificial flavors, natural ingredients, 100% pure cocoa butter. Oh, no palm oil or soy. That's something that they eliminated over time as well. So it's also non-GMO, vegan. Their ingredients are cocoa mass, sugar, cocoa butter, freeze-dried raspberries, sunflower lecithin, and raspberry flavor and vanilla. So the other ingredients are also fair trade. The chocolate itself is made in Germany. So they are partnered with a German chocolate maker up there. All right, so let's just open this so that I can put them flat and we can talk about the symbols. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at the Adinkra symbols. So I'm going to start down here. I'm going to start with this. It looks like a turtle, but it's a crocodile, and it means adaptability. This one are ram's horns, and it means humility and strength. This one, it's actually in the inside too. It means to return and get it. And it might be the same as that, but there's a heart symbol that means the same thing. I don't know if that one's the same one. It means learn from the past. This one is a spider's web, and it means wisdom and creativity. This one is, get the right angle for the camera. This one is the great okra. It means supremacy and superiority. Let's see, what did I miss? Oh, the comb. This one is a comb, a wooden comb, and it means feminine qualities and beauty. Did I do this one already? I don't think I did. This one means it's a symbol of a compound or a communal area, and it means security and safety. This one up here, let's get the right angle here. This one means the earth has weight, so it means the divinity of Mother Earth. This is a cool one here. I like this one. It's the Siamese crocodiles. You can see his head and their tails go back. The Siamese crocodiles stand for democracy and unity and diversity. The circle one is the chief of the Adinkra symbols. It means greatness, charisma, and leadership. Let's see. The heart means patience and tolerance. What did I miss? I think I got them all. So I think that's all of them. Let's open the chocolate bar and try it. So inside the wrapper, they just talk about the co-op a little bit. They say, meet one of the cocoa farmers. Talks about the investments. There's one of the Adinkra symbols. And then the other flavors. There's their B Corp certification. So yeah, I think I did talk about all of the symbols that I can see. All right, so let's open the bar. Wow, that's got a lot of inclusions. Yum. Oh, I think my bar is falling apart. Okay. All right, so there it is. Nice bar. It's a 3-ounce bar, so it's a bigger bar, and the Adinkra symbols are on there as well. You can see there's the comb and the go back and get it, and the ram's horns, the compound. Let's listen to the snap. It has a nice snap. Oh, look at all those raspberry bits in there. That's gonna be good. Do I expect this to be the best chocolate I've ever had? Probably not. It's probably going to be good chocolate. It's kind of one of those things that I call a gateway chocolate. You see it in the grocery store and it sparks your interest. So let's warm it up a little bit. See what we can smell. Okay, so when I warm it up a little bit with my thumb to release the volatile compounds, I smell cocoa, vanilla, the raspberry, of course. What else? Maybe a tiny bit of floral. When I taste it, it's hard to tease apart the chocolate flavor from the raspberry. It feels like it's a medium to dark roast of the cocoa. It's not as creamy as you would expect from a European chocolate, but it's nice. It's got a nice smooth mouthfeel. It's not grainy, but the raspberry is really nice flavor with the cocoa. So it tastes quite good with the raspberry. They go very, very well together. And as you can see on the back of the bar, they're not skimping. I don't know if you can see that. They're not skimping on their inclusion. There's lots of raspberry and lots of raspberry and flavors. It's kind of like a burst of summer. So it's a nice bar. It's a good bar that you can get at the grocery store and start on your journey to craft chocolate deliciousness. I haven't had this one before, but I think I'll save to open that one another day. They do have many flavors available, inclusions, and they have a 70% and 85% different inclusions. They have a ginger and an orange and a sea salt. So there's all kinds of different flavors for you to try out there. And of course, it helps the Ghanaian farmers. Ghana sometimes gets a bad rap when it comes to cocoa beans. It's not, yeah. Ghana's a complicated place. We all like chocolate because the beans that come out of Ghana taste like chocolate. So there are definitely beans that can be of higher quality, but I wouldn't give Ghana the bad rap that it has right now. They're starting to have more makers in Africa. Divine is, with their organization, is giving back to the farmers and having better responsibility for the farmers. So don't immediately dismiss something if you see that it's Ghana. Okay, I'm going to flip the camera around and talk a little bit about the recent changes in the organization of Divine Chocolate. Okay, so in June of this year, there were some changes made at Divine Chocolate. So for a really long time, the managing director of Divine Chocolate was Sophie Tranchel. She is a Brit, calls London home, I believe. She was with them for 21 years. She calls herself a third generation activist. So when she was young, she was an activist for anti-apartheid movement, and a lot of people call her the champion of fair trade. She really was out there with the social aspect of business, the social responsibility. Not out there, she put herself out there to achieve the social aspect of business. She really thought women having equality was important and that business could be a force for good. So in June 2020, it was announced that she was stepping down, and it seems as though Kuapa Kokoo needed some capital injections, and they were bought by new private owners. And I'm checking my notes because I want to make sure that I get this right because this is new to me. So now the Kuapa Kokoo will have 20% shares, and the other 80% will be owned by the Ludwig Weinrich family that's been manufacturing German chocolate for a really long time. So Sophie is going to depart in November when she feels they're up and running with the new changes. 21 years she was with Divine Chocolate. The fundamentals of the chocolate company, the new company, the CEO, Bude? I don't know how to say it properly. They're fully committed. He says they're fully committed to the same objectives that Divine had before: the fair trade, the B Corp, the social enterprise, the traceable supply. They're committed to that. They are developing, producing chocolate. They have farmers visiting their factory. They hosted them in the factory. They brought them up from Ghana to Germany. They're building a schoolhouse for some of the farmers in the co-op. And let's see what else. Okay. So I think that's it. So big changes for them in the last year. So the farmers will be getting a little bit less in their dividends, but hopefully the company will be able to keep going with the injection of capital, and we'll be able to keep eating Divine chocolate in the future. It's one of those ones where it's not hard to find in your health food stores or your grocery stores. It's in a lot of stores in the UK and a lot of health food stores in the US as well. So that's Divine chocolate. If you ever want to check it out on the internet, there's a lot of information about them out there. There is a lot of stuff about the social good that they have done, for how they've contributed to changes for women in Ghana and improving their lifestyle. So if you feel like going down an internet rabbit hole one day and looking up Divine chocolate, I would recommend it. And the co-op actually has their own website too, so you can check them out as well. And I think that's all I have to say about Divine. So next week we'll do another chocolate, or maybe something different. I don't know. I'm thinking of branching out a little. But I hope that you will join me when I do, and see you then. Thanks.